Okay. So we have one from US, one from UK, one from India. The Vishnu is in UK and it's like almost midnight for him. It's if you 5.5 hours, it's like what I mean 1 hour, 1 a.m. time for him. So that's the so I don't know, maybe he has slept watching video, whatever. Okay, he'll join anyways. We're getting recorded, so he can refer it later. Okay, so yeah, so these are the basic mathematical operations. Then you have something called as bitwise and or not. Okay, so we have something logical operators are performed on Boolean types. Okay, so basically, if I say so. Paint, where is my paint? Okay, so let's say I have a table here, input A, input B, right? And you get output here. Okay, now if input is true, right? So Boolean can take only two values, true or false, correct? If A is output O for AND, let's say. So if I say true, false, and here I have false. So true and false, what is the output?
Both of them?
True and false, output is false. Okay, that means if one condition is true, other condition is false, and if you're applying and, okay, output will be false only. So it's like this. I take this example here. So let's say I say Sachin and Sehwag will open the batting. Let's say will open the batting. What I'm saying Sachin and Sehwag, and if I get it right, this is a prediction. Okay, if I make right prediction, you pay me 100 rupees. If I make wrong prediction, I will pay you 100 rupees. Okay, so this is the prediction I'm making. Sachin and Sehwag will open the batting. But what happened here? Saurav and Sehwag started with batting. So in this case, will I get money or will I have to give back money? Or yeah, I have to pay or will I get money?
I would do 50-50.
No. You'll there's no concept of 50-50 here. Because I said A and B. I'm saying Sachin and Sehwag. When you say and, your both statement has to be correct to be correct. Even one statement is wrong, you're wrong. Okay. So this is what happens here. So when I say statement A is true, I'm saying Sachin will open the batting and Sehwag will open the batting. So this became false. Okay, F. So A became false, but B is true. Still, it is false only. So you have to evaluate this. Just like you say 5 plus 3 plus 2 plus 9 plus 8 plus 11. So when you write multiple plus, but at the end of the day, when you are working, you will simplify that to one value and then proceed. Same thing here. You can have multiple conditions. I say Sachin and Sehwag and Ganguly and X and Y and B will come for the party. Okay, I said 10 ands. Okay, will come for the party, but only 9 people came. Still, my statement became false because I said and. And when you say and, everything has to be correct to become correct. Okay, so if so if both are false also, it is false. Okay, and if one is false also, okay, so both false, we have done it, so it will be true. Okay, so let's say true and false. So if one false also, it is false, and both false will also make it false. So if only when okay, ignore, I mean, I'm not doing it properly here. So only when you both are true, your statement will be true. Okay, so this is about and or. If I say Sachin or Sehwag will open, I say Sachin or Sehwag will open, and let's say both Sachin and Sehwag open. Is my statement true or false? It is true.
True?
True, yes. because I said or. I mean, so if it is more than that, it's fine. Okay. So Sachin or Sehwag, I said, and Sachin and Sehwag both open, right? So in the or condition, we have. So here you have condition A, condition, and then you have or. Generally, or is represented with plus sign. Okay. So this is a condition. So A is true and B is also true. I said Sachin or Sehwag, right? So A or true, this will be true. If I say Sachin or Sehwag will open, and let's say Ganguly and Sehwag opened. So this is false, this is true. So what is my statement correct or wrong?
It's false.
No, it is true. I am only taking guarantee about one person, not about both the person. Sachin or Sehwag. And in fact, Saurav and Sehwag open. So this part is true. So my statement is true. So in OR, even one true will make it true. So if this is true and this is false, also it will be true. And if it is both are false, only my statement will be false. I said Sachin or Sehwag, but in fact, let's say Ganguly and Dravid opened. So if Ganguly and Dravid opened, my statement became false. Both the statement became false here. So this is how, and this usually works on your logical operations. So coming back here, if I say A equal to true, okay, and B equal to false, and I say print A, okay, and how do you write and in Python? Small a and d, okay, small a and d, B. So let me write few sentences. You can have not A, okay, print A or B. Okay. So what will be the output of line number 12?
False.
Correct. False. Here,
True.
no, I'm saying not A. A is true. So not A
Oh,
is false. Print A or B? True, right? One if or even one condition is true, you get true. So you get false, false, true. Okay. So this is how Boolean operation works. Now, where does this come into picture is when you are evaluating some conditions in program in Python. Okay. So for example, I say A equal to 10. Now I say print A greater than 15. Okay. So see here, these are operations to perform. So when I say A into B, it will give me A into B. Now here, these are called conditional statements. Okay. What I'm trying to do here is called conditional statement. So A greater than 15. Okay. A greater than 15, it will be true or false. So conditional statement will either give you true or false. Okay. There is no other value. Conditional statement will give you true or false. So is this condition true or is this condition false? So when I say A greater than 15, okay, so I'm asking, is A greater than 15? That means is 10 greater than 15? No, it is false, as you said, right? So you get this. Okay, false. Now I say A greater than equal to or not equal to A greater than 10. Now you tell me, will it be true or false?
False.
Rashid?
True. Isn't it true?
Is 10 greater than 10?
But does it have equal to or greater than function?
Is 10 greater than
Python?
10?
That's
No,
the
is
question.
10 greater than 10? Simple question. Is
No.
10 greater than 10? No. Okay, 10 is not greater than 10. You still get false. Okay, if I make it equal to here, then I'm asking, is 10 greater than or equal to 10? Is 10 greater than or? Okay, here you get or. Is 10 greater than or equal to 10? Yes, it is equal to 10, but not greater. So false or true will make it true. Isn't it? So you get true here. Similarly, you can try for less than as well. Okay, so I say a less than 10, true or false? False.
False.
10 is not less than false. Sorry, less than 10. But if I give equal to, yes, it is less than or equal to, correct? So less than equal to true. Sorry, less than equal to 10. Yes, it is less equal to 10. So it is true. Okay. Okay. So this is what less than equal to. So remember, single equal to is for assignment. So when I say a equal to true, a took a value of true. When I say a equal to 10, a became 10, right? So if you say a equal to it, you are assigning the value 10 to a. But if I ask double equal to, okay, double equal to is asking question, is a equal to 10? Okay, what will be the output of this?
Comparing 10 and 10. True.
Yes, it is true. Is a equal to 2? Okay, so when you say greater than, less than, it's clear. Equal to, we use double equal to. Double equal to is like asking question, is a equal to 10? And answer is yes, 10 is equal to 10. So when I run it, you will still get true here. Okay, so you get true here. So this is how you have, these are called conditional statement. You're checking the condition. You can check multiple condition. Okay, a equal to 10, b equal to 15. Okay, and how do you connect multiple statements, multiple conditional statements? Using and or, right? So if I say a equal to 10 and b say less than 20. Okay, so see here, you have to first, it's like asking, it's like this: 3 plus 5 into 3 plus 2, something like this. So when you have conditional, like this, first you are going to evaluate based on the BODMAS rule, right? So first we'll have multiplication. So this
Okay.
becomes 5 into 3, 15, correct? So 15 plus, then you say 3 plus 15, both are plus, so you can do anything first, right? So 3 plus 15 is 18, 18 plus 2 is 20, right? So this whole thing will give us 20. Similarly here, a equal to 10. So how do you evaluate a equal to 10? What is the output?
True.
True. So I can replace this with true. Just like I replaced this with 15, I'm replacing this with true. And, okay, is b less than 20?
Yes. So true.
Yes. True. Now true and true.
True.
True. Right? So now if I undo and I run it, you get true and 20. So you can have multiple conditions, and this, probably Monday when we meet, we'll talk about this thing. I mean, your Sunday. So Karshik, which, when you are not there, your Sunday you are not available, right? Or Saturday?
Sunday, your Sunday, but my Saturday.
Your Saturday. So tomorrow we'll not have session, correct? Tomorrow
Yes.
we will not have. We'll meet directly on like my Sunday. So that's tomorrow we'll not have. That will meet on my Monday. Okay. So I'll send a WhatsApp note. Yes, not on WhatsApp. So tomorrow we will not have session. Okay. We'll meet day after.
No
Okay.
problem. And if you want, we can exchange WhatsApp contacts.
No,
if
let's
that's-
let's take a break for a day. No problem. It's good. Okay, so yes, so going back to this, so you can have multiple conditions here. Okay, and eventually it should get evaluated to either true or false, and this is what we are doing. So these are called conditional statement. You can call them as arithmetic operators. These are all mathematical operators, arithmetic operators. These are your logical operators. Yeah, you're performing operation on logic. Okay, on the Boolean values, and these are your conditional statement. Okay, you're checking the conditions here. And multiple conditions connected using logical operators. Yes.
Sorry. So I have a question. So what if one statement on the print A is equal to 10 and B is less than 20? So what if one statement was true and the other one was false?
So we discussed that, right? I'm sorry. So
Would that be
yeah,
false?
okay. So so okay, so yeah. So what happens is, okay, in and okay, just I explained you, right? So one thing is, you remember, you by heart, it's called as truth table. Okay, you by heart the truth table. Second thing is, or you put an example and you see, okay, Sachin and sort of example, and you see how many, right or wrong. So in general, rule of thumb rule is, for and, even if one value is false, everything will be false. If you have multiple ands, in and condition, if one value is false, everything is false. Okay, doesn't matter how many true you got. So let's say, if I ask, if your teacher says you have to get all 10 right, well, then I'll pass you. You have to attempt all the 10 questions and get them right, only then I'll pass you. So if you get 9 out of 10, you still fail, right?
Right.
So that's why that's the and means everything has to be true. You have to get all right to, so you can have multiple ands. Even if one turn out to be false, everything will be false. So in this case, if I say b greater than 20, so this is true, but this is false. So it comes out to be false only. In true, even if one is true, whole thing will evaluate to true. Okay, in or, that's what you remember. In or, even if one statement is, everything has to be false to be false. If I ask you, you can answer any one question correctly and you'll pass. Any one is or. So if you get all 10 correct, also you will pass. If you get one correct, also you will pass. Because I said any one, if you get it, you will pass. So even if you get it all correct, fine. I mean, no, it's very good. But even if you get one right, still you will pass.
Okay, so that makes sense. So and doesn't matter. It's just that everything needs to be true.
Exactly.
And one more thing.
Yes.
So I know that for like normal we can use comma, but for this we can't use commas, right?
No, comma is to separate the parameters. Okay. So when I say 5 comma 3, you are saying 5 and 3 are two different. Excuse me. So when you say 5 comma 3, you are saying 5 and 3 are two different numbers. But when you say 5 plus 3, it becomes 8, right? Same thing. The expression, when you put comma, you are breaking them apart, right? But if you want to evaluate as one single expression, you can't put comma there.
Okay, that makes sense.
Comma will
Thank
separate
you.
it. Yeah, sure. And your and your statement, okay, line number 18 that I'm like 18, you can have and or multiple and or. Thumb rule is and takes precedence over or. So first you evaluate all the ands, then you evaluate the ors. So I'm not, we discussed about cases where it's all and or all or, right? But when there's a mix of and or. So first you evaluate all the and how do you evaluate? Evaluate on what is on the left and what is on the right. Evaluate and replace that, right? So something like this, okay? So I say print true and false and true or false or true or and true and false or true and false, let's say. So how do we do that? So look at all the and first. Okay, so even see the before and the bracket also takes preference. So if I put a bracket here, just like your mathematics. So if you put bracket, first bracket will take preference over anything else, right? So if I had put bracket here, let's say. So in general case, you would have multiplied 5 into 3 first. But now in this case, since we have bracket here, we have to evaluate 3 plus 5, 3 plus 2, it becomes 5. And then 5 into 5, 25. And then 3 plus 25, 28. This is how you say final answer is 28. Same thing here. So when you have bracket here, the bracket will be evaluated first. So if you have to replace this, what will the answer? What should I replace with?
And
No. True or false? So true or false will evaluate true?
false.
No, or is true.
Oh, or.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
true.
True, right? Now you look for all the and here. So we'll go with this and first. So this true and false will make it false. Sorry. Okay. Then again we look at this and, second and. False and true will again be false only. Now or we'll skip or, we go with and. True and true will be true. Okay. True and false will be false. Okay, or we'll leave it. We will first validate all the ands now. True and false, it is false only. Now, no, first or false or false, false only. Now, false or false will be false only. So your answer is false, right? So this is how you evaluate. First, you start with bracket, then and, then or, and finally you get this. All right.
Okay, so that's so if we were to run the original, that's how this would work then.
Yes.
Okay, it makes sense.
Okay. Okay. Okay, one more small concept before we'll end the day. Okay, we didn't discuss not equal to. If I say not equal to, then what will be the output of this? We discuss greater than, less than, equal to, greater than equal to, but not equal to. So if I say this is not equal to, okay, exclamation mark equal to is like not equal to. Sorry.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I know you have a lot of, you told us that you're going to give us a list of the special characters as well as all of those things.
Mhm.
But I know that, you know, like you're probably a lot more experienced to know these on the back of your head. But is there a way for us to like remember these as well? Or like, how did you figure, you know, how did you memorize it? Because if I'm working and I don't have the list on me, I'm scared of making a mistake.
So it's all about, I lost your voice. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry. I
Yeah.
think my internet's just bad.
Okay. So the answer, sorry, I got this throat on this thing. So, the answer to the question is by practice. Okay. There's no other way other than practice. Okay. And that's one more reason why I do training. Okay. You know, so that I remember all this stuff. So if I teach you, maybe after a month, I teach same thing someone else, you know, and so, you know, I'll be repeating it again and again and again so that I don't forget it. Okay. So in work, you probably will not be using everything. Okay. You'll be probably focused on maybe 1/3 or 1/5 or 1/4 maybe of what we're doing. Okay. So to remember all this, practice. Okay. That's the only way. So maybe plus minus, you don't have to remember because, okay. So when I said plus minus, right? How did you get these things? Because
They're pretty
these things, yeah, you learned it in your childhood and you have practiced it all your life. So that's why you will never forget it, right? So other things, if you practice it again, even 5 times, you will never forget it. Correct? So yeah, so that's the thing. Practice is the only answer.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just scared of like using all of these things at work, and I'm just like halfway in there.
Yeah, and that's why, if you practice 3-4 times, see, first thing is a programming world, you should know that this is possible. Okay, there are few things which is not possible, there are few things which is possible. First thing you have to know is it is possible. And see, and when you're looking at a problem, okay, and this is about problem solving. When you look at a problem, okay, your problem will look very big. Any problem, okay, if you have to solve something using Python, what you have to do is you have to break into different steps logically. That is independent of the programming language that you'll use, whether you're using Java or Python or XYZ language, the logic or the approach doesn't change, right? So you have to first break that into that smaller steps. And now you see, oh, this small step, how do I do that? So maybe if you had broken your problem into 20 steps, 10 of those things probably 10 things you will not know. So you refer textbook, you refer YouTube videos, or you do Google search, right? But to do Google search or refer video or to refer any of those notes, first you need to know what is that you're looking for, right? What should you type there in the Google? So if you go through these trainings like this, or if you just read a textbook, you are trying to understand what are things which are possible, which are how it is implemented. So now you know that there is a function, there is a special operator in Python which will give you just the integer number. Let's say you forgot double slash. You forgot. You don't remember. But at least you'll remember that, oh, Saurav did this thing on that day. So there is something which will give me this. Now, if you had not known about this, and in a problem, in your day-to-day activity, the problem solving, you had to use something like double slash. You will break your head, right? Think that, oh, how do I do that? How do I do that? But now at least you know that this is possible. There is a way to do it in Python. Now you Google it. If you are, you don't have access to my notes, your videos, that's fine. You Google it. How do I get only the integer part from division in Python? So you'll get double slash in the Google search, right? So two things here. First, try to understand whatever I'm saying. You remember that. Okay, if you don't remember the syntax, also it's fine, right? Now, for example, format. You knew the morning that you showed me. You knew that there's something called as format, using which we can get this thing done. Now, when you are not able to do it, either I help you or you can do Google search and you would have got the help. Okay, no big deal. But if you had not known that format can be used, then you would not have been able to do that, isn't it? So getting wrong, getting stuck is okay. There will be a lot of people to help you. There will be websites to help you. But if you don't know this is possible, then the problem comes, right? So that's why when anybody goes through a formal training, it is to understand that, oh, these are the things, or this is how it is done in Python. So that's why when I say that when I'm talking, just concentrate on the screen. At least you know that this is possible. Error solving, getting the syntax, you can do. You can just Google, if you say examples in Python using format string, you will get hundreds of examples, isn't it? But if you don't know that's called format string, then you will not be able to even search on Google, right? So that's the first step, is to understand that this is possible. Second, if you want to by heart, if you want to kind of inculcate, then you have to practice, just like mathematics, right? So when you read a mathematics book, you will understand everything. But when you start solving the problem, that's when you feel the challenge, right? So same thing here. It's exactly like mathematics. When you say it, yes, so true. A plus b, so easy. But when you do it, oh, should I put simple bracket or should I put curly bracket? That kind of things will come when you practice.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, so last topic which I wanted to talk about is called bitwise operator. Okay, 10 minutes should be enough for us. So bitwise operator it works on the bit. So you know that in Python, or not in Python, any programming world, that whatever we type, okay, it is converted into machine level, and each digit is called a bit. Okay, so if number 10, okay, in decimal, okay, will be like 1010 in binary system. So when you say 10, this is translate into 1010 in machine level, and I'll talk about briefly about that. And each of these values are called bit. So here you have 4 bits. Okay, you have 1010 is called bit. So how do we do that is, you know, you have 10, right? So we keep dividing it by 2. Binary systems divide by 2, you know. So you get 5, remainder is 0. Then again you divide this by 2. You get 2, remainder is 1. Again you divide this by 2. 2 1 j 2 and remainder is 0. And then you go from bottom to top. So your 10 in decimal system is equal to 1010 in binary. Okay. So when I say print, print 10, okay, less than 3. Less than is called bitwise left, or left shift. Okay, you're shifting towards left. See, the arrow is going towards left. It's called left shift. So you're shifting towards left. Okay, so when I say 10, this is converted into bit. Okay, so it is 1010 in binary. I'm saying shift towards left. How many places? 3 places. So you know, so you have 4 places here, 4 bits. 1 2 3 4 1010. I'm saying move 3 bits here. So what happens? 3 places is added now. So you have 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3. 3 places are added. Now this 1 will move 3 places. 1 was here, will now be here. Then 0 will be here. 1 will again come here, and 0 will come again here. Right? So what did we get? We moved 3 places to the left. So now we have 3 empty places on the right. So when you move left, there will be empty place on the right, isn't it? So you add 0 0 here. So 1010, if you move 3 bits to the left, you get 1010 and 3 zeros. This is in binary. You have to convert this into decimal. So 1010 and 3 zeros got added at the end. So how do you convert? This is 1, 2 power 0. Okay, so in decimal system, when I write 531, so it becomes 1, 10 power 0 into 1, 3 into 10 power 1, 30, right? And then you say 5 into 10 power 2, 500. So 500 plus 30 plus 1, 531. Similarly, you say 0 into 2 power 0, 0 into 2 power 1, 0 into 2 power 2, 0 into 2 power 3, 1 into 2 power 4, 0 into 2 power 5, 1 into 2 power 6. So you see, these are zeros cancelled out. So you have 1 into power 4 is 16. 2 into 2 is 4. 4 into 4 is 16. So 2 power 4 is 16. This will again get cancelled out 0. 2 power 6. So this is 4 into 4. Sorry, 2 into 2. 2 power 4 is 16 plus 8. 16 into 8 is what? No, 16 to 4. I'm sorry. 2 power 6 is same as 2 power 4 into 2 power 2, right? 2 power 4 is 16, we know. This is 4. So 64. So 64 plus 16, you get 80. Isn't it? So 1010. So if I run this here, you get 80. Question here.
It makes sense logically speaking, but it's still a bit confusing.
What is confusing? We did 3-4 steps.
I think it's just the shifting part that's confusing.
Yeah, shifting is easy, right? So you're shifting towards left. Okay. So you have empty spaces on the right and you fill the empty spaces with 0. Okay. Now see the significance of this. Okay. Every shift you are doing to the left, your value is getting double. Okay. Because you're using binary system, it is getting double. So I'm doing 3 shift here. So one shift will make it 20. Second shift will make it what?
40.
Yes. Third shift will make it?
80.
This is what we are getting here. So if you do left shift 1, okay, you are doubling the value. So 10 left shift 1, you get 20. Okay, so value will get double. So this is, this is one way of, I have never used this in my life so far in work, but this is good to know, right? Sometimes you might see this, so it's good to know. The right shift will half your value. Okay, the right shift will half your value, ignoring the decimal part. Here, decimal part doesn't come into consideration. So if I say 10, okay, right shift 1. So what will the value?
5.
Exactly. It will be 5. Okay, if I make it 2 here,
Would it be Hello?
yeah, I didn't hear you.
Sorry, I think my microphone is bad. Would it be 2.5?
Okay, so we ignore the decimal part. Okay, now you tell me.
2?
Exactly. Okay, so one right shift will make it 5. Another means 5 by 2, which is 2. Okay, so if I make it 3, then
0.
no, 1, right? Half of 2 is 1.
Oh, okay, sorry. I
Right?
never made that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you make it 4, yes, you'll get 0. Okay, so how 1 by 2 is 0.5, so you ignore the decimal part, you get 0, right? So yes, that's the significance of left shift and right shift. So okay, so these are things which I had planned to cover today. Okay, so we are done. Tomorrow, not tomorrow. Tomorrow we are not meeting. So I'll give you some examples to practice, and day after when we meet, we'll talk about we'll do some few examples. Okay, we'll do a few examples. We'll solve some problems, and then we get into conditions for loop. So maybe first 5 hours, first half hour, we will have some problems to work on. Sounds good?
Yes,
Yep.
thank you.
Perfect. So yep. So enjoy your day or night, and we'll see you after one day. Okay. And meanwhile, I'll send you the PDF and the recording as well if possible. Yeah. PDF you'll get it. Okay. I'll definitely send PDF.
Thank you so much.
Sure. So yeah. Take care, everyone, and see you soon. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.